Hello, Living Dead Dolls fans. This is Josh, aka Doggiepants, and I'm coming at you in partnership with Mezco Toys for another Living Dead Dolls review. So today we're actually taking a look at a doll that I'm super excited about. I have been excited about this doll ever since they first acquired the rights to the Universal Monsters. So basically, the doll that we're reviewing today is Universal Monsters Creature from the Black Lagoon. So freaking cool. So when they first acquired the rights, they said that they were going to be releasing Frankenstein's monster, Bride of Frankenstein, and then also Dracula. And they did. They released color versions of all of them and also a black and white version of Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster. And they were supposed to release a black and white version of Dracula, but he didn't make it into production. You know, that happens sometimes. What can you do? And then they announced that they were going to be doing a Creature from the Black Lagoon. And it was a while ago. It was like, I'm going to say maybe 2 Toy Fairs ago, maybe? I might not be right about that. If you know where he was first shown, you know, put it in the comments, please. But anyways, when they first released images of him, he had similar claws to what he has now, similar feet, but he was wearing a cloth outfit with the scales and everything kind of painted on, and it looked all right. It just didn't feel right, and Mezco kind of took everybody's feedback and took the doll, redesigned him, created an entire new mold for the doll, a very unique mold, and then brought him back and announced this new revamped version of him that was actually going to be put into production. And so he's finally out years after, you know, we had the old Universal Monsters. So I'm so stoked to see that he's out. So like always, we're going to first take a look at his box, and then we'll take a look at the doll. So starting with the box, bam. It is a window box. There we go. One nice thing, though, it isn't a window box with a door, so you'll be able to see the doll once he's, you know, sitting on your shelf. Basically, here we go. It says, Living Dead Dolls presents Creature from the Black Lagoon. On the left and right, you can see seaweed that kind of goes up the box. And then there's an opening right here in the front, so you can see the doll if you're a sealed collector. The cardboard on the inside is water, definitely kind of like a greenish, bluish water. It's lighter at the top, and then it fades into darkness as you get deeper into the ocean, I guess. I don't know. But that is the front of the box. The back of the box has the Universal Monsters, there it is, seal, as well as a paragraph about Creature from the Black Lagoon, an image of the doll itself, and then it does say Living Dead Dolls Creature from the Black Lagoon. On the sides of the box, it's the same picture, and it is a picture of the actual Creature from the Black Lagoon from the movie, so that's pretty cool. It does have the stamp of the Universal Monsters there, and then it says Living Dead Dolls at the bottom. That is the box. Now you're going to notice that the box is a little bit wider than a lot of the Presents dolls that we've seen in the past, and I think that's because the size of his feet, the size of his claws, he just doesn't fit in the normal window-sized boxes. So just be aware of that if you're going to display him. He might be a little bit wider than some of the other ones. That is his box. Let's take a look at the doll. There he is, Creature from the Black Lagoon. He is so freaking cool. I do want to say, too, he's heavier than a lot of the Living Dead dolls we've seen in the past, and I think it's because of his amazing mold. So there's so much detail, there's so much plastic that he actually weighs a little bit more. The other thing that's really special about this doll, other than he's a completely new mold for Living Dead dolls, is that he is the first Living Dead doll that actually has 7 points of articulation. So, he's got his head, bam, bam, bam. He's got his wrists. He's got his legs. And then he has his feet. And his feet are completely ball jointed as well. So you can move them up, down, you can turn them sideways, and so forth. The other really nice thing about this doll is because of his feet and the size of his feet and the fact that they are ball jointed, he stands really, really well. There's no need for a doll stand for this doll, and he's not going to tumble off your shelf anytime soon. So, I mean, look at the size of his feet. He's not going anywhere. Yeah, but let's take a look at him. Obviously, he doesn't have any clothes, so we can't take kind of an in-depth look at that, but we're going to take an in-depth look at the mold that they created and also the amazing paint job that they did on this doll. So, we're going to start with his feet. Like I said, they are completely ball-jointed, so you can turn them like any direction that you could possibly imagine. He's got these big claws coming off of his feet, and then he definitely has these like dragon hide scales, right? That's all over his entire body. But the paint job is done all the way up those as well, and I'll get to that in a second. The back of his feet have a lighter paint color to them. And then here's what the bottom of his feet look like, in case you were wondering. So yeah, that is his feet. Again, stands really, really well. If he is a doll that is in any way got a wonky leg, you're not going to have a problem because he can, adjust accordingly, which is really, really nice. So moving up his legs, he definitely has these scales, and it's hardcore scales. They're really a hard plastic. It's really, really nice quality. So the scales go all the way up his leg, and then each one of the little it's like armor, I guess, kind of almost like a dragon hide. Each one of those has a lighter color paint that goes all the way around it. And then on the back, he's got kind of these, fish things coming off that go down the back of his legs and up his spine and onto his head. So one thing that you want to be aware of is as you pose him, those are not going to line up perfectly. So if you are the kind of person that likes things to line up perfectly, just be aware of that. You can adjust his feet accordingly so that he stands correctly. Again, look at the paint job coming off of that. It's a really, really nicely done. That goes all the way up his back. His stomach has a separate little kind of plate, and the texture on the skin is very rough. Right, so there's a lot of teeny little scales within that. You can kind of see that. On his stomach, it's smoother. It's much smoother, but it has the same kind of scales. It's a lighter paint job. And then we go up to his arms. His arms are built exactly the same as his legs. It is a ball-jointed arm. And then we come down to these amazing claws, right? I mean, look at these things. They're freaking amazing. So he's got these giant claws. He's got obviously webbed fingers, there we go, they come right off, and the same kind of scales. Now, the paint job on the scaling on the body is not completely on the hands, whoop, there we go, so you can see that, or on the feet, but it doesn't really matter. It's not distracting to the eye or anything like that, but he does have a special kind of paint job on his palm right there, and all of those little circles that are on his palm are actually part of the mold. So the mold in this doll is absolutely freaking insane. Everything that you see here is in the mold. It's not just a paint job. That is high freaking quality, right? So yeah, so those are his claws. Then we get up to his face. Of the doll, the face is probably the simplest part. It's it feels almost like a slightly different plastic, but not too bad. I wish that the face had kind of the texture that's on the body. It might help to the appearance, but I mean, it's not that bad. He actually looks pretty freaking cool. So we've got these gills on the side, right? It's got the similar paint job. And again, all of this is textured. It's part of the mold. We see the same thing going up on the fin on the back of his head. His head is actually pretty smooth, kind of bald, living dead doll, right? There is a little bit of detail right there on his forehead. There's some bumps, there's some lines. He's got this kind of fish nose. And then he's got these eyes. Now the eyes, it almost looks like the eyes are stickers and not painted on. I can't really tell. Either that or they just put a glossy coat on the eyes. I cannot really figure it out. But take a look at it. It looks slightly different than the way that they have done Living Dead Doll's eyes in the past. But still pretty cool. The inside of his mouth is red. And then he's got kind of the same folding right there under his chin. Yeah. But that is the creature from the Black Lagoon. There's actually not that much to show you because he's not wearing any clothes or anything, right? But he's a freaking cool doll, and I'm so excited that he finally came out. I think that he is beautiful. He's awesome. He's super high quality. Really a nice addition to anybody's collection. So get out there, get him, especially if you're a fan of Universal Monsters. He is super cool. And worth, the whatever, $25-30 or whatever it's going to cost to get him. So he just came out. You're going to be able to find him in a lot of stores, I imagine. And then I think there's some damaged box ones on Mezco right now for like $20. So get on Mezco Direct, buy those dolls if you can. They're definitely worth it. He's super, super cool. Yeah. But that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I was planning on doing the Series 16 review today, but he showed up last night, so I was like, all right, I guess we'll do some Creature from the Black Lagoon. But I'll definitely get back to my series reviews really, really soon, I promise, and we'll keep trying to knock those out. Hopefully, too, we'll have the new set of Resurrection dolls soon. Yeah. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.
No.